This morning, first light was 6:30. I put in at 6. It was crystal clear, but by the time I made it around the corner, you could see a heavy fog that was back on the shore, and there was one out to sea, and the fog would get increasingly thicker as the session went on. My plan was to put out the troller, and as I paddled around, I would look for birds. I would cast on the lobster pots, which are pretty much everywhere, but they signal where the structure is. I was using them especially today because this morning my fish finder wouldn't start. This one lasted almost 11 months. That's pretty good for an ocean kayak. It's pretty hard on electronics. The fog continued to roll in and get thicker and thicker, and the farther away from shore I got, the less I knew exactly where I was at. I fished many years without a fish finder, and I like that. It keeps me more aware of what's going on. But one thing I really like about the fish finder is it lets me know what depth I'm in and when I'm getting too close to shore. So there is a safety factor there that I really appreciate and that I was missing on this day. Still, the farther away from shore I got, the better the fish bit, so that kept luring me out. I caught my first bass off the rocks up against the shore when it was still too dark to film. But there was no current, there was no water movement, everything was real still in there. So I began paddling out into deeper water. The fog continued to roll in, got real thick, but I could see that there was some good current out here. And I started to pick up bass. Here's one. Threw on a lobster pot. Trolling stick bait. But as I get to the lobster pots, I'm throwing plastics on them. This one's a real bronze one. It's going to be legal. I'm not sure what this one is. Oh, sealed up. A bass. The farther away from shore I got, the better the bite was. But the fog would come and the fog would go, and it would heat up, and then it would get colder. There'd be a wind, and then there wouldn't be a wind. I had lost complete sight of the sun. And of shore, the only thing that I had that I could count on was that there was a southerly swell. So I started going down swell and then slowly creeping my way into what I knew would be the east until I could find my way back to shore. No.
No?
No.
Where are we?
Surf's right there.
There's the cliffs, I can hear them.
Is that what it is? Wouldn't start this morning. You know, of all days, this is the first foggy day I've had all year. If I have to, I can get the Google Maps out of the front, but
Yeah?
I'm hoping it'll lift.
Yeah, this should lift. Yeah, look at it. It's spin right now.
There you go. Eventually, I would make my way back to shore. It was a slow process. Sometimes when I could hear the surf, even though we didn't have big surf. So by the time I would get to where I could see it, I was almost in the lineup. But I made it. I kept my head and I made it. And I'll end this video with the people I met along the way. That's all for this week. This is John Pavlak saying goodbye.